being a police officer and being a police officer off duty. So you are never not a police officer. I know it sounds stupid. You go to work, go home, put your kit away, go home, and then when you're at home and you want to continue your normal life will always come second. You are always a police officer, regardless of how it works. So I'll give you some instances. You go out, you are in White Rose at Leeds or wherever you're going to be. Someone shouts shoplifter, man running through crowd. You have got your duty to be able to stop that shoplifter, regardless if you're going to be going to TK Maxx and getting whatever you want shopping wise, or you're going to be going to TFI Fridays and getting some chicken wings or whatever it is. You have got to stop what you're doing and you have got to get involved and you have got to apprehend. If you see a shoplifter fighting with a man, if you see people fighting at an RTC, you've got to basically say, look, I'm involved. If something happens in front of you and you are seen on CCTV walking away and not getting involved, that's dereliction of duty. You can get fired or whatever for that. So every time you are a bobby, you carry your warrant card. Fucking hell, this is happening again. You know what I mean? Wherever I go, warrant card, police officer, right, what's going on? And you never stop. So a few instances how it's worked. Being out for a curry with my brother and my friends. Again, this is in my second book, which is due out 1st of September. Not that I'm plugging it. Out for a curry, family and friends. And a father and son came into the curry house behind us, sat down, big curry house, really nice posh. And they literally just started arguing directly behind us, 4 foot behind us, and just started fighting, father and son, punching each other, left, right and centre, rolling over tables. We had 2 people in the party that we were with that were pregnant. So my brother, who was a bit of a big lad, and I stood up at the time. I tried to calm it all down, it wasn't happening. So literally we grabbed these people by the scruff of the neck, launched them out at Curry House, phone 999, outlined the fact as soon as I said on the phone who I was, give them a call number. Loads of bobbies rushed at scene. By this time they're trying to smash the windows of the Curry House, kick the door in on the Curry House. And then the bobbies arrived at the scene, and when they arrived, the dad pretended to have an heart attack in the Curry House doorway, so he wouldn't get locked up. They got locked up, locking a friend or someone on your shoplifting, which is in the other video. There's been times when I've been involved or I've had to get out at RTCs. There was a little old man driving at like 20 mile an hour and 30 mile an hour limit, and he had this van full of big brickies behind him, and they were beeping their horn and that sort of thing. And the van went round, cut him up, and then he beeped his horn. He must have been about 85-year-old, this old bloke, lovely bloke. So they've stopped the van, literally at a major junction, got out and started punching window at van. Come on then, fucking come on then. And these builders were like 25, 30-year-old, right, big, stocky, bodybuilder type bloke, you know, didn't stand for any shit. Little old bloke sat in his car, and I'm directly behind this old bloke, and I thought, you cheeky bastards. You absolute cheeky bastards. So first thing, he got out of the car and said, what are you doing? You can fuck off as well. Right, police officer. Oh, I'm sorry. If I answered police officer, you would tell me to fuck off. So you'd try and outflank me, outsmart me, big it up, big chest, you know, every day's upper body day. And then eventually I talked him down, told him to get in the car and fuck off. Rung the boss, because it was a major company, outlined the fact of I'm a police officer. I had dash cam, it's all caught on camera. The lead instigator and the driver of the van ended up getting fired. I didn't want him to get fired. But you can't go around smashing windows on 70, 80-year-old blokes' cars, trying to be a tough guy and cutting them up because he's driving responsibly. It just doesn't work like that. So you've always got to get involved, but also with the bits like that comes the shit in aggro, because you'll go for a meal and you sat with your family and people start calling you pig, start shouting over pig. You get shouted at wherever you go. You can be in a pub and people are trying to stare at you and psych you out, people wanting to fight you. And I went to a nightclub where kind of a wine bar where I live, and this is why I don't go out a right lot, having a few drinks, and yeah, I were a little bit merry. And I was just with my best friends and we were just having a little bit of a boogie, a bit of a dance. Can't dance, so it just looked a bit stupid. And then as I look over, door staff are just staring at me and looking at me all the time. And I keep looking over and they're like still staring at me. And as I'm dancing, I can just see a flash out the corner of my right eye. And as this flash happens, these door staff like push me out of the way and then jump on this lad and start dragging him around and pull him out. And it turns out, because I wasn't looking and I was a bit drunk, there's a bloke stood right side of me and he's been just staring at me all night with a glass in his hand. And literally he's just decided what to do, and he smashed the glass on the top. And as he smashed the glass, that's the flicker of light that I've seen, because it's the glass catching on the light, and he's just gone to ram the glass in my face. And the doorman have been watching him all night, knowing who I were, and they've jumped on him. If it weren't for the doorman, this lad smashed me in the face with a glass, I'd have probably lost my sight and been blind. And this is what you've got to put up with. You're a bit worried sometimes when you ring a takeaway and someone comes to your house. Oh, this is where you live, officer. or getting a taxi, you get a taxi and you get dropped off 2 roads from your road because you don't want people to know where you live. It's little things that you always, when you go to a restaurant or a pub, you go sit in corner so you can have views of all exits and entrances. You don't just sit with your back to people. There's little things that you know what I mean, about, you can't, I mean, I remember stopping one person in Keighley, and when I stopped, Officer Pearson, how are you doing? You all right? And I don't have it at the moment, so well, I saw it years ago, but you still driving your on the Civic Type R, your red one? You still got your registration, blah, 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 blah. And these people know what car you drive, they know what registration you've got. I've been followed home, I've left police station, and there's been 2 people sat outside police station who followed me home, and it's only that I run control unit, and I went through 2 sets of red lights. Says, right, I'm going through 2 sets of red lights, I'm telling you what I'm doing. There were no coming, so I went straight through. They had to get held, and the car number straight and plate were caught. They put a panic alarm in my house. You are never off duty. Part of the police is if someone falls over in front of you, you pick them up. There's an incident I want to talk about later on, but there were a fatal collision outside my local pub. I'd just gone to meet my mate. Student local pub. I'd been on a bit of a drinking hiatus. Got my first pint. He pulled it, shh, like that, you know you do. And I could see this like golden amber next to it, white fluffy top. Wow. Just as I touched it on my lips like that, fucking doors at pub flung open and the woman come running in. He's dead, he's dead. And someone had been knocked over and killed outside. This was my night off. This was my first beer in God knows how long. I want this pint. I need this pint to touch my lips. And I had to put my pint down, and then within 5 minutes, from my knees down to my brand new shoes, I was covered in blood, doing CPR on someone at the side of the road. That's what you do as a bobby. You don't ever stop, you don't ever give up, and it's part of your life. Think about that when you speak to police and call them bastards.
What happens if you go into like a public toilet and you see lads like snorting, whatever? What happens in those situations? Because surely if you confronted that, you'd be putting yourself in quite a dangerous spot.
You've got to suss up what's going on. I mean, there's been loads of times when I've been in certain places where I have been drinking before, and I've gone in toilet and they're snorting cocaine off back at toilet or outside of where you wash hands. I'm being honest with you, sometimes I just don't see it. I turn my blind eye, because what am I supposed to do on my own in a pub after having 4 pints of lager? Pub's got 200 people in, music's playing out on a Friday night in a 6-minute toilet. First thing your gaffer would say is, what the fuck are you doing? Just don't get involved. Well, yeah, but it's the law, and I'm a copper. No, well, that's a job's worth, is that? You don't get involved in that. Do you know what I mean? The reason you turn a blind eye is because, well, it's not safe to do so. So what you do is you probably put some intelligence in, saying that this is what's happening in these toilets. And then it's for somebody else to take on. It's for licensing officers to take on. It's for drug team to take on. It's not what to do with me then, because like I said, I'm not ruining my Friday night and getting my head kicked in. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, well, that copper's bent or whatever. No, it's you're aware of your own surroundings. And when I've got my partner and my brother and his partner sat in pub, they don't want to see me fall out of toilets with 4 lads kicking hell at me because I've tried to be a fucking hero. Sometimes you need to let some things go. But the majority of the time, that's only because you've been drinking, but the majority of the time, I'm not being funny, but if something happened directly in front of you with a load of drugs, all right mate, you know what I mean, if you got that cocaine in hands in it, it's in a big sealed up bag like you see on Miami Vice with all black tape around it, and so I think you'd have to probably say, oh, sorry, but you just don't want to end up getting knifed in chest as well. You've got to value your options and do a risk assessment and know if it's safe to do so, but yeah, you're never off duty, never.
We've launched a Patreon channel. If you want to help out, please see the link below. Thank you.